How are you doing and how have you been? My name's Tazastical and this is going to be my first Civilization 7 playthrough on the channel. I've had a little bit of a play on stream. This is all going to be cut down for the main channel, or uncut will then be sent to the uncut channel for you if you want to see everything in between. However, here we're just going to highlight all the important stuff, but you'll still be able to see the progress and stuff like that. And I'm very, very excited. So I had a little play on stream yesterday just to get used to stuff. So this is going to be the official first playthrough. And I'm excited. And we are starting with Egypt, which is glorious. So, as leader of Egypt, what do we get? And yes, I'm going to avoid trying to pronounce her name at all cost. I thought she was Cleopatra for quite a while. Anyway, we get 1+ culture for every imported resource. Okay, cool. So potentially a culture thing that we can do there. We also get plus 15% production towards constructing buildings and wonders in cities adjacent to navigable against rivers that we can go across. Don't ask. This is more important down here. So this is our leader, and you can swap your leaders, as I showed at the beginning, with then who you want to be, which is actually really fun. I do like that. And you have been able to do this in earlier civs as well, which is cool. We get the gifts. And what does the Egyptian Empire gift us? What it gives us is 1+ production on rivers. So on these rivers that we can navigate, on these rivers that are navigable, on these rivers that we can navigate, yeah, we'll just say navigate, it's fine. On these rivers that we can navigate, we get 1+ production. We'll go over that in a minute, then we can go with what our Egypt plan is going to be and how I sort of see this civilization. We do get production towards constructing the pyramids. So I am going to try and beeline towards the pyramids, and then we'll see how strong that can then make our starting city, if nothing else. We do get a unique unit, the Medjay. A unique infantry unit, has no maintenance, plus 3 combat strength in friendly territory, doubled when stationed in a settlement you own, which is actually very, very good, and I'm happy with that. We get a great person with 1 charge. We haven't seen what that is yet, so I'm very, very curious. And then we get our unique quarter. It's constructed by constructing said buildings in the same district. No, sorry. That is our unique quarter. Then in the unique quarter, we can build these 2 buildings. Or maybe one of them, I'm not really sure. Created by constructing the Mashush and the temple in the same district. Okay, so constructing them in the same district makes that interesting. Grants a unique quarter created by constructing, yeah, so by building these 2 buildings in a district, it creates this, I believe. And that grants 100 gold when any wonder is completed in this city. Okay. And these buildings. So the first one gives us plus 3 culture, then plus 1 gold adjacency for desert terrain. We do have a little bit of desert in our starting tile, but we'll go over our starting tile in a little bit. And then we've got plus gold and happiness for rivers. So it really wants us to make rivers and wonders is sort of what I am getting, which is very, very nice. So, all right, that's our attributes. That's absolutely fine. And this is our start. So, the really, really cool thing about Civ 7 is actually when we start, we just start with a base 555. So it doesn't really matter where we settle to a degree, which is actually quite nice. Now, this is the navigable river that we have been talking about, and I'm just going to say it really fast so no one can tell I've got dyslexia. So this is the thing. So when we look into Egypt herself, we get 1+ production on all these tiles. So if we come down to the lens down here and turn on the yields, All of these tiles here, we're going to get 1 plus production to, which is actually a really, really good tile if you compare it to what else we could work around. We're going to get 1 food, 1 gold, 1 happiness, and 1 production, which is actually really, really nice. If we then go down to research, because we get a boost to the pyramid. So if we go down to masonry and look at the pyramid, the pyramids would then give us 1 gold and production to rivers in this settlement as well. So meaning on all these tiles, we will have what? 2 production, because we get 1 from Egypt, we would get 1 from the pyramids, and we would get an additional gold, which actually makes these river tiles absolutely fantastic to work. We do have some luxuries or some resources around us as well, so we do want to grab them. But I think that's going to be a really, really good opening for us. So we start with founders now. So founders found your cities, and then settlers now find all the towns afterwards. So we're going to settle here next to this river tile. Found settlement. And then Wasit. Wasat. Sit. Sat. Asat. It's one of them. Pick your poison. And that's where we start, which is actually really, really cool. And then as you can see, we build out. So it's similar to the other civs where you can only work 3 tiles away. However, when you build buildings or districts or wherever, instead of them just being in the building, they spawn like districts. However, if we were working, let's say, this river tile here, we don't have to worry about like Civ 6, where we can't then put anything on here. If we do, it would let us then change where we worked, which is actually bang-a-langin', and it saves for all that painful district planning to a degree, which is actually quite nice. So if we click on our city, we can see here, and this is what I mean. So every city now, when you settle it, just has a blanket 5. So 5 food, 5 production, 5 happiness. There is potential to get other things. So I think if you're Rome, you start with a little bit of culture and stuff like that. But that's the base that everyone gets. I'm trying. How do I... And here we go. And that's the palace building that gets you the 5-5-5 blanket stats, which is actually really cool. And then we can see the food in here and a detailed drop of what's actually going on. So, the first 2 things won't be a mystery to anyone. Is we either do the scout, where we can scout a boot, or we can do the Magi, which is our unique unit. So we are... What difficulty are we on? Let's remind ourselves. We are on Sovereign, mainly because I like to be able to experience the game before we try it on the higher difficulties. So, our unique unit is really, really interesting because it has no maintenance, which is actually really, really cool. Now, scouts are very, very important on Civ 7, as finding stuff is actually really, really important and much more detailed. We have a place here that we can see here, a cave. So really, really cool. So I'm going to, it's going to take 1 turn, and then we can see who's recommending who. And then we're going to get our scout out first of all, mainly so we can find all the glorious things that we need to find, and they're going to improve all of that. So up here, we've got our social policies, which at the moment we don't have anything. Crises, which is going to happen towards the end of the age. And then basically we're going to have to plug in, or what looks like we plug in policies, but we have to pick the negative policies. And then that intensifies as the age goes on, which is actually really, really interesting and quite cool. Quite cool. Then in here, resource... Wait, what's it called? Resource allocation. There we go. So we have some resources that will be able to move around all our cities. We can see all the blanket stats, so we can make people happy. Let's say we get 2 sheep. We could then put that in towns and stuff like that, swap it around, make people happy. We will also get resources that are up here that are just spread. Everyone gets them. Horses, everyone gets them, and stuff like that. So flat out bonuses to your empire, where stuff like dates, salt, sheep, they will be able to split up, go wherever, help growth somewhere or not. In here, great works. And then we can see, obviously, all the places that we can put them in. At the moment, we don't have any. In here, religion, our pantheon, which we don't have anything at the moment. And then player unlocks, which is interesting to be able to see them all, I'll be honest. Now we're going to go through the research tech tree. So as we can see, it ends here at mathematics and ironworking, which is really, really interesting because now there are 3 ages in the game. So this is the first age. And how they've done it, which I think is really interesting, is they've added masteries. So, for instance, if we look at writing and no change here. We get our library, we get our science. If we do the mastery, it boosts on what we're already doing. So you don't have to do any of the masteries, but the fact that you can go into them, I think adds a different thing for every game, because sometimes you're going to want the mastery, sometimes you're not, and stuff like that, which actually is very interesting, and it boosts what you're already doing, which I think is a really good addition, in all honesty. Looking at civics, so open up the tree and looking at civics, again, the same thing. We can see where it shuts down because of the end of the age. We are in the antiquity age at the moment. And we can see the same thing as the technology, where we have the same normal civs, changed around a little bit, and the masteries with them that then further boost on what we're going to try, which is absolutely awesome. So, with that being said, on stream 15 minutes in, first turn done, that is the basics of everything that we can see here. And then obviously we click the lens here, and then we can click, if we want to see resources. I always like the yields. I do like the yields up. I wonder if it's as important now. But I like seeing the grids and stuff like that. It does look pretty without all them symbols. And yeah, there we go. Let's go next turn. We're going to take this slow, methodical. I want to enjoy this. There is no rush. And I want to win. I want to try and win. Depending how good or bad we do, that will change. Next turn.
The radiance of the new world came into being bathed in nectar, bathed in love.
Lovely voice. I'm going to miss Sean Bean, I'm not going to lie, but her voice is actually very methodical. It's not the right word. It's fine. Her voice is very nice. I said that in a really creepy way. Her voice is fine. Right, so we get agriculture for free first. This gives us the granary. So no change here. So it gives us a base yield of 1+ food. It then gives us food on all farms, pastures, plantations. Okay. And we can pick up our first technology. So, the first choice that we have is sailing, animal husbandry, or pottery. So, as we spoke about Egypt getting all these boosts to river, we get 1+ production if we work a river, which we can actually see now. Now our board has expanded to this river tile, we can see 1 food, 1 production, 1 gold, 1 happiness. Where if we go over this river, we can see we don't get that additional production, because that is what our unique empire gives us, which is actually really cool. So I think we're then going to go into sailing for that. So when we work a fishing boat on here, when we grow our city, I will show that, we will then be able to get 2 food for this. So we would be a 2 food, 1 production, 1 gold, 1 happiness. Sailing there. Then we could choose production as our scout is done. We could go straight into a granary. However, I think we're going to need some infantry, because the independents, which used to be barbarians, can be quite aggressive. So let's get our unique unit. Another thing that we haven't even looked at, there's lots of new shiny things, everyone, and I'm loving it, is the age progress. So I believe this is sort of going to be the same as like win conditions in past games, where we have culture, military, science, economic. And then we can see we can move through. So we can click track production. Sorry, we can click track progress. And if we tick all of these, for example, Once we click out of here, it shows us a list of quests that we can do, which is actually really nice to then progress us down the path. We can hover over it and it will give us additional stuff as well. And it basically tells us the first step that we should be constructing, which will then move us down this path, which is actually quite handy. We can see them here as well underneath each of them. But here it's just quite handy because it lets us just view them and then we can minimize them and grab them out as and when we need them. I have to admit, it is gorgeous how this map works. I actually really, really like it. Like, to me, this is right on my style. Now, Scout does have a few abilities. I do want to go get the cave first, and then I think we will showcase them. Where we have Lookout, which increases our sight range +1, which is these tiles here. They will go down. Or we have this one here, which increases our sight for 1 turn, and it reveals all discoveries within twice this range, which would be stuff like this cave or stuff like that. But these caves and whatnot are much more dynamic and interesting to what the huts, the goody huts used to be on Civ 6, which is really, really cool. So we're going to move towards that cave, and on our way we can see more of the map, which is really gorgeous. Some more red wine. Nice. So let's go next turn. We've got everything set up, and then we can see our lists of stuff under the journal of what we need to do. So we need to study Civics Code of Law, study Discipline, would give us one here. I believe that's for the military one. Make a Wonder, and research writing for the Great Library. Or that's the quest of it called. So let's go next turn, and hopefully it's going to let us grow our city. Or is that going to be on in 5 turns? Well, we're going to have a look. Next up. And now we can grow our city. So when we click our city, this is how we allocate what we're going to work. So no longer do we need builders and stuff like that. We just click the tile that we're going to work, and then it automatically improves the tile, which is absolutely amazing. And it literally tells us what we're going to do. So if you look over to the left-hand side, just under where our city is, under here, it tells you what you're going to build. So a woodcutter. Later on through the research, like with the granary, let's have a look if I can find something. So if we done animal husbandry, we would then be able to do a saw pit, which would give 1+ production to woodcutters. So then you can sort of see how you can have very personalized cities, a little fishing city, a little woodcutters city. I don't know what you call that. Woodcutters town? I don't know. Lumbertown. Yeah, we'll go with Lumbertown. That sounds good. So what we want to do to get all our bonuses is we want to go here, which will give us a fishing boat, which will then give us another food after we do sailing, because fishing boats will give us an additional food. So that seems like a really good strat with Egypt early on. Plus, it's better than anything near us at the moment. So we're going to go there. We've got 9 more turns of sailing, and then we will get that boosted. And then as we can see, we've already got the fishing boats in there. Very gorgeous game. And that is just working, which is very nice. Then we got units, so we're going to hit our first cave and then see how we can interact with that. So we just move over, right click. Soldiers have tracked a horde of bandits to their stolen treasure. Debts must be repaid. So, and then we have options, which is actually really, really fun, and I do enjoy that you can do this a little bit more. So, we can do +10 production and 50 gold to our capital, or happiness towards our next celebration. We're going to go with production and gold for the time being, but if we go in, I'm going to have to remember where it is. Gonna have to remember where it is. Okay. Government. So, if we go into social policies, we can see happiness here and celebrations. We'll get to that when we have a government later. once, I believe it's after we get Code of Laws, it allows us to then pick our government. Might be after this one, but we'll have a look once we get there and we will go through it. So let's go next turn. And we can go with our scout. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our scout up one. And then we're going to use one of our new abilities. So what we're going to do is we're going to do search. So it'll increase the sight range +1 for 1 turn and reveal all discoveries. There we go. And then we can see these 2 squares up here have been identified to us. So we've got a ruin there and a wreckage there. So then we can move towards them, which is actually really good. Does stop us moving, does take one of our movements, but very, very key. Which is why there's probably a play to get quite a lot of scouts out quite early. More so than in previous games. And there we go, our troops rise from the ground. And we can choose production. So, in 7 turns, we will get the fishing quay, or key, if that tickles your tickle. And then we will build that, which will give us the plus food, which will obviously be glorious. So, until then, we basically have a choice. We have a granary, but at the moment we don't have any farms, pastures, or anything like that. So, I don't think there's any real benefit to being able to do that. So, let's get another melee unit out. And then with our melee unit, we're going to walk this way. So, fairly okay river. I'd prefer it a little bit bigger. So, the river ends here. So, these are the only river tiles that we're going to get boosted through our own empire. So, command units. And our scout is going to go... So, 3 turns there, 3 turns there. So, it doesn't really matter too much. So, let's go here. And then we uncover the map as we push forward. Very, very nice. Right, next turn. Command units. So this is what I really, really like about this game. Rivers are actually things in this game, where in like Civ 6, they're not, for example. So we actually have to travel across them, which is awesome. So let's pop over there, and then we're back on foot. Right, next turn. And our scout is moving towards the wreckage. We can grow the city again. So we're going to continue with our strategy of moving across the river, because it's going to give us the most boosts compared to all the other stuff. But we will want to get dates and stuff, because if we hover over dates, we do get +2 food, +2 happiness. So, but at the moment, we will stick with the river. Okay, and here we can see our first hostile unit, highlighted in red, a hostile scout. Our scout is going to come in here for the wreckage, and we get 2 choices again. A calamity has swept through, leaving wood and clay splintered, charred, and broken. Some have escaped, others were not so lucky. So we can comb through for valuables, which will give us science and production, or we could leave offering, which would give us influence. We'll talk about influence more when we meet people and see city-states. So let's, at the moment, get the science and get the production. Right, next turn. And this is our first narrative choice. Let's click here and have a look. So, Swords of the Shining Land. So, some of these narrative choices are generic, and some of them are based on who you are, which is actually really, really cool. So, at the borders live the fierce Magi people, elite warriors who live as nomads. They would be formidable foes, but it seems their intention is peaceful collaboration and service. And then we have 2 quests. So we have 5 Magi units within 20 turns. That might be a little bit rough. Or disperse an independent power. If we complete these by hovering over, we can see what we get. So we get 15% production towards training Magis, or we get a militaristic attribute point. So let's try and disperse an independent power within 15 turns. And then we've got another melee unit that is going to come over here to back them up. And as our first bit of combat, hit that scout. There we go. And then back to the city. So how long until fishing is done? Fishing is done in 1 turn. These are both going to take 5 turns to complete. So let's get another melee unit. Because there's no maintenance. There's no to worry. And then we're going to move over to the ruin over here to try and get as many goodies as possible. Right, let's go next turn. Very, very excited.
The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. We were the first that ever burst into that silent sea.
And that gets us our fishing quay. And a galley. And gives us other things so we can embark, traverse coast terrain, and +1 food on fishing boats. So, does that mean we get... Hang on, let's have a look. Let me see... Yields. So, we get the +1 food, and the quay, once we build that, will give us an additional 1 food, which is actually really, really cool. So, it just means we've actually got some really good tiles along the river. So, let's get our melee unit over here. And let's get rid of that scout. Perfect. And we can see an independent here that is yellow. And this is where we can interact with them. So if we have enough points, we can befriend them. So independents work similar to barbarians, but have changed a lot. So while they are barbarians, they can progress to city-states, which is really, really cool. So you can befriend them from here, help them out. However, you do need your influence points up at the top left to be able to do that. We have met a new civilization, so let's go meet them. And I have to admit, I love this screen. It really makes it feel like you're against someone, or I don't know what someone's up to. And anyway, so our first meet, and this is what we do. We can either be hostile, that costs us 20 influence. We can be friendly, which again costs us influence, or absolutely nothing. And then it describes what happens. So we would lose relationship for the bad one. We reveal the capital of each other. And we like each other a bit more. So let's try a friendly greeting. There we go. And then it opens this screen where we can spend more of our influence points, which is really good. So we could do open markets, which would give us more gold. Culture exchange, which will give us more culture, which is really, really cool. I love this screen. I really like how it works. Right. Sailing done. We're going to then choose a new technology. We're going to open up the tree because when we go in here, we get plus 30% production towards constructing the pyramids. So I think a good little move would be beelining to masonry to get pyramids, which would give us 1+ gold and production on navigable rivers in this settlement, but still. Must be placed on desert and adjacent to the river. So let's go animal husbandry, which does give us access to the slinger, which is really, really nice. And then we're going to go straight into masonry because we do have a desert tile there. So I think we could build the pyramids there. I don't know how it would work if there's like bushes on there, but still that would work absolutely fine. And then, oh, we can see his capital is just up here. Very glorious. I like how they always look different. It's cool. So we could attack this city-state because we do have a mission. We've got 13 turns remaining to disperse these. I would like the other military unit to join. We have got a cave there. So let's move up to that independent. And then we have diplomatic action. So, he wants to invite us to start a local festival together. So, we can reject it, and then we're blocked from future projects for 10 turns. We could accept, which would give us +2 influence per turn. He would get +2 happiness, or I could spend 60 points, and we both get +3 happiness. So, at the moment, I don't want to spend any points, because I would like to befriend an independent. So I'm going to accept this. And there we go. Now we can see we went from 10 plus to 12 plus, which is lovely. Right, next turn. Command units. So we can see their scout there. So it's probably fair to say that's been scouted. So let's move our scout over this way. Next turn. Another leader has started an endeavor with you. Right, we are going to start hostiles with this independent power. And accidentally go into the water. Brilliant. Let's go grab this cave here. So we can sample the cheese for science and food. Or get culture. Let's go science and food for the moment. And then that actually boosted our science to finish. And we get to grow our city again. So I am going to continue to do all the river stuff because we just get so many boosts to river tiles. And click next turn.
I protect thee with this flame, and I drive away the foe and the sand from thy feet.
And we get to do policies for the first time. So we either get tool making, which gives us +1 production and science on the palace, or +2 culture on the palace. Let's go with production and science just because culture is lacking and it looks like we're just going to let it lack and confirm that policy. Right, let's get our warriors back on solid ground and pretend that never happened. And then the next group of warriors is going to push in. We're going to try and disperse them and we have 11 turns to do so. We have a narrative choice, so let's click that. So our leader gazes into the bronze mirror as an attendant traces her eyes with coal. She does not look at her reflection but beyond. The lands are, as yet, few in people, but abundant in possibility. Her mind reaches forward towards. So, another mission. So we could get a merchant. We could build 2 monuments. Or conquest, which would give us another warrior. So, I think these are quite far away. So let's go conquest, which then gives us another warrior. And we will move the warrior over here to these. And we can choose another civic. So opening up here, we could go discipline, which is not a bad idea because the mastery does give us something we can plug into our government, which would give us +3 combat strength against independent powers. Discipline itself would give us a policy where we could add our scout movement and sight. We would also gain a free army commander, which is actually really, really good. Mysticism, however, would give us a pantheon straight away. So we don't have faith points or anything like that. Just studying mysticism would give us a pantheon. I would like to do that because I am eyeing a pantheon to try and make our rivers even better than what they already are. We choose government. So, the celebration that we saw earlier in here, we have just got one. And on getting one... No, wait. No. So, we showed earlier the celebration in here. Okay, so we got 22 turns left and then we get a celebration. In choosing our government, we then are able to pick, when we get the celebration, which option we would want. So we're going to do Classic Republic, and then when the celebration happens and everyone is partying down, we then get to pick either more culture or production towards constructing wonders. Now we know we want to construct the pyramids, so I'm hoping maybe we could time it, but if we don't, then we just pick the culture, which is actually really good. Very tempted for food, because food is king. However, that's what we're going to go for. Very nice. And we click next turn. So, as our first bit of combat, we're going to grab our melee unit, and we're going to go in there, which we will get a major defeat, which is disappointing. Let's go. And then we're going to grab our other warrior unit. They're not close enough, but they'll be able to attack next time out. We have got a diplomatic action. So he wants open border. We can accept that, and we get +2 gold per turn. Yep, I see no problem with that. and then to our city. So now we can make the fishing quays. So we get +1 food on fishing boats, additional to what we've already got. So let's build our first building. Must be placed on a coast, a lake tile, or navigable river. So we're going to place it here. You must convert to an urban district. Selecting this will remove the existing fishing boat to convert it to an urban district. Continue. But, like we said, we don't lose that work that's happened there. We click grow the city and we still get that. So we basically built that, got rid of the fishing boats, and then the game lets us move the fishing boats or whatever improvement we would want. Very nice. Another melee unit joining the fray. And this melee unit can then attack next time out. And another melee unit. So that's 4. This melee unit's going to push this way and just go up the river just to see what's around. I think 3 melee units over here is fine. We have 10 turns remaining to disperse them. Next turn. As scout. Okay, another one of their scouts over there. Let's go next turn.
The caged bird watches butterflies with envy.
That's a great quote. Which gives us slinger. We get production on camp and woodcutters. 1+ food on pastures. So we can see another unit has come here. I would like to get rid of these. Right, we've got another warrior unit moving up. Right, let's go attack with you. And attack with you. Because we've got another melee unit coming up to help with them. Let's go respond to diplomatic action. So he's inviting to share military aid. Ooh. So if I accept, get +2 gold per turn, and then he gets +2 combat strength. If I support it and I pay 60 influence points, we both receive 3+ combat strength, which I am going to do. And then we can choose research, or sorry, technology behind there. And we're going to go straight to masonry to try and get them pyramids up to support our river tiles even more. Let's go command units, and we'll move our scout along here. There is a little goody hut there, but I think he's going to get it just before us, sadly. Right, and our warrior over here is just going to push up. Next turn. Right, move you up. A little bit of trouble, so let's move you back. Move you back, and then our healthy melee unit at the front. Our scout is going to come across here. I can't waste any turns by not moving, otherwise he would beat me to stuff. Let's go command units and get this melee unit over here to help. Next turn. So he's chasing me down, which is fair enough. Okay, and then we've got another little goody hut there. Melee unit over here. This melee unit push up. Open this, just heal. You over here, just heal. We have got iron, which is really cool that we can see iron immediately. So when we hover over this, iron gives us +1 combat strength, which is actually really, really cool. I like the idea of that. Being able to see it from the start, and it just gives you that boost. Right. Next turn. And we can hover over our leader, and the banner comes down, and we can sort of see how we compare to the AI, which is cool. Next turn. We can see they got health. Other warriors coming in. They are going to come in here for major victory. As you can see, combat has changed in the sense of we don't get experience. So the only way to get experience is if you have a commander, then the commander gets experience, which then will improve your army, which is cool. Different way to do it. Right, you two might as well keep healing because you're in trouble. We've got 6 turns to disperse this, which should be okay. Let's go in there. So, this place of respite has sheltered countless travellers, a symbol of humanity's perseverance in spite of a hostile wilderness. Stay a while gives us happiness and culture, or we get influence. Let's go for the happiness and the culture, which then helps us complete the civics, what was that, 3-4 turns quicker, which is absolutely lovely. Let's go next turn. And I do want to start dispersing them. 5 more turns, so we should be okay. We can grow our city even more. So I think we're going to continue with what we have been doing and go down the river, because we get so many boosts to these river tiles. It's absolutely amazing. Choose production. So we did complete the quay or quay last time out. So then gives us sort of an option of what we want to do. So, masonry is going to get completed in 10 turns, which is then going to allow us to build the pyramids. So, we've got about 10 turns here to kill before we have a choice there. So, I'm thinking to go settler to be able to settle land. We could go over here, we would get the wine, we would get the salt, the sheep. Trying to think what sort of town that would be. Where is my scout at the moment? Over here. So it wouldn't be a fishing town. It could be like a woodcutter's town. Which wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. I would like to see a little bit more in here, because we've got a lot of mining stuff over here. So we could have a little mining town over here. I'm going to grab this warrior. No, just heal for the moment. Just keep healing. So, we got 10 turns. What I'm going to do then is pop out a scout and then into a settler. So then I can still scout the coast, see where the best location is, and then go from there. We do want to try and find river tiles, just because we get so much boost. So there could be an argument for coming over here for this river over there, which I wouldn't be totally against. So let's command our units, this scout. So we're going to do search. Doesn't show us anything. Okay, so we'll continue popping down. Right, let's go command units and our warriors. Major defeat if we push in here. They have fully healed, more interestingly, so we might not be able to get rid of this as quick as we want. Next turn. Yeah, we've got 5 turns remaining on this quest. We might not have the time to do it. Let's move you up. Right, let's smack you. Let's smack you. Then you'll be able to smack next time out. So I'm hoping we can do that. And then there's the first quest done. We've only got 4 turns remaining. We might lose a melee unit in this. Let's go next turn. Hit you. Hit you. And then move in. Awesome. And then as we're in here, as we see, they have not been conquered. But there is a button down here, which is Disperse Independence. So we click that.
He was the first to construct a wall, 80 miles in length, which was to separate the barbarians from the Romans.
Nice. Then we get narrative choice. And we complete the quest. One must remember that a soldier's purpose is death, no matter how friendly the face. And we get +1 militaristic attribute point. Which, more interestingly, as we can see up by our leader, we get 1 point. So let's click here. Militaristic, and these are our leader's attribute points, which we can boost our leader to get additional buffs, which I think is mega fun. So we get +5 combat strength against independent powers and city-states, or we gain 1 free war support on all your wars. Let's get the +5 combat strength at the moment, because we are fighting independence, and we just get that boost. Ta-da. Choose technology. So this is the first time we have actually got an option to come in here and get a mastery, which would give us +3 combat strength for fortified districts, or +1 production on production buildings. I think it's probably best to go into writing, come get our library and stuff. We might even do the mastery, which would then give us a codex, which is a great work, and additional science. So let's go over there. Do we need to do... We've got that. Do we need to do pottery first? Yes, we need to do pottery first. So what would pottery give us? Pottery gives us a brickyard, so if we got a mining town, we could do something there. Yeah, let's go pottery into writing. And then we can get all our science buildings. But more importantly, we did complete our first quest, so hooray! We did it. Living the dream. And we're 10%, or we have got 10% age progress. Right, command units. Our scout will keep scouting. Oh, we have got a campfire over here. My melee warriors, after the success of killing random people, probably should rest and heal up, and we will go next turn. Oh, we have met someone else, so let's go meet them. I love this screen. It's my favourite screen.
Đêm nay ngọn gió mát trên đỉnh Fansiban và dòng chảy êm đềm tĩnh lặng của sông Hồng. Các ngươi đến đây.
I wonder how many nations are going to be like hostile from the bat when you see them. That'll be interesting. But let's do a friendly greeting and spend 20 influence. And then we have stuff for gold, for culture, and stuff like that. We could spend some influence points to be able to get some of our culture stuff done. Let's go production in here. So we got a monument, which would give us more culture, which we do need. Granary is not very good at the moment. Saw pit, not very good at the moment, just because we don't have any of them types of things. We could go how many turns until... So we actually can do the pyramids now, which would take 17 turns. Do we whack out a quick settler beforehand is a question. I think we whack out a quick settler beforehand, and then we go into pyramids and hope it doesn't get chewed out. More scouts everywhere. Oh, I missed that. Whoops, 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 whoops. Oh no. Hopefully it doesn't get stolen. Totally forgot my goodie hut. And our army is just going to heal up. Yeah. Just rest, heal up, and then we will go again. Right, then we got a scout down here, which I would like to push off in this direction to see the coast down here, to see if there's any towns over there next turn. There we go. Oh, we've even got a little campfire down here. Next turn. I got another river. We do want to settle along the rivers just because we still get really good boosts from them. Oh, that scout grabbed it, damn. Okay, we might as well go this way. Next turn. A significant blizzard has developed and is heading to the northwest. Okay. Guessing that's the blizzard. Another river in here. Again, we want that navigable river, so this doesn't count. Command units. Right, let's go get that campfire. So, locals claim that in this glade, objects roll towards the center regardless of the slope. We can gain a boost to the earliest available technology, or just get a flat out science. Spend 3 turns of production, though. Let's just give me the 30 science, which saves me 2 turns on pottery, which is actually quite nice. And let's go next turn. Hello, not too bad. How are you, my friend? How are you? Right, and then let's click next turn. We're just trying to find a place for our town at the moment.
But it is in this one.
Okay, very nice. So we do get an extra policy or a new policy. So we could get extra culture or gold. I think I'm happy with the production and the science at the moment, especially because we're about to go into pyramids construction, which is one of the quests that we have got early on, which is construct a wonder, and it will improve all our river tiles. That will be absolutely amazing. So let's go choose a technology. And let's get writing done so we can get that library up for that science. I think science is still going to be king. How's this game? I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm really, really enjoying it. Different to Civ 6. But yeah, really, really fun. And I like working out games for the first time. I find that quite interesting. Choose a Civ. Or Civic. So I could come down here, which would... I'd be able to plug in a policy for +2 food in all settlements, which I actually do like. I do like the idea of getting combat strength against independence. That's not, like, the worst thing in the world. Or we could go up here for the Oracle, which would give us culture. Code of Law would give us merchants, so I think we should push towards that. So let's go Discipline, and then we'll go into Code and Laws. I think that's probably going to be the move. We do get to choose our Pantheon. I'm hoping the one that we want is still here. Boom. God of the Seas. We get an additional production on fishing boats in a settlement with an altar. So we do need to build an altar, but then all of our fishing boats up this river that we use will get an additional production. We have got gold. Is there any chance I could buy an altar? I would need 360 gold. Because the problem is after this settler, we're going to basically go straight in for a pyramid. We've got 2 options to settle a town. Right, our scout... Right, okay, we've got a hostile scout. So scouts in this game can't fight or anything like that. Our warriors just hang about for the moment, just to let everyone else heal. We took a beating in that last engagement, that's for sure. So, we have 2 options. We could settle here and push to the iron eventually. Or I think the better option is probably setting over here, having a little lumber mill town. But we've got these rivers as well. So I could settle here, for example, and then I've got all the river to work, which obviously we get our boosts to river, which would be absolutely glorious. Okay. Let's go next time. And we get to grow our city. So we've done everything. This is a coast. It will give me a fishing boat. I think we only get boosts for the river itself, though. Let's click in here. Yeah, production on rivers. Our quay here, can I see... I want to see my current buildings. So the fishing quay... It's not going to tell me, is it? It might tell me if I come back into here. Fishing quay... Yeah, so it still gives me 1+ food on just on fishing boats, so it doesn't matter too much in here. How's this game? Yeah, really, really good. It's very different to Civ 6 and stuff like that. It's obviously much different, but I do enjoy trying to learn games for the first time. So far, so good. I'm enjoying it. I'm really, really enjoying it. Okay, so we can grow our city. So we could go here for loads of growth. Which games do you stream? I've got a YouTube channel. ! YouTube. If Nightbot's even working. And I did RimWorld for like few years. I basically play what I like. I played some, like, Daisy, Baldur's Gate. At the moment, I'm on Civilization, loving that. And planning to play this until I get bored of it, in all honesty. I play what I like what I play, pretty much, like, for a boring answer. So, I think we're going to continue. We could get dates, which would give us happiness. We're quite happy at the moment. So, I'm thinking of continuing down the coastal just to get some more growth, in all honesty. So, let's do that. We still get the boost from the Quay, or Key. I like Tarkov. I can't play Tarkov on my own, though. I used to like duo quite a lot. We do get to choose our first celebration. So I'm going to plug in the 15% production towards constructing wonders for 10 turns, because after this settler does get built, we're going to go straight into the pyramids. Do I want culture or gold? I want gold at the moment because I need to save up to be able to purchase an altar, which is 360, because I'm going to go straight into the pyramids. If I can get the altar, that will give us additional production on all our fishing boats, which is huge. Because if I go in here, +1 production on fishing boats in settlements. So there's even fishing boats out on the coast as well, which is actually quite nice. No, I don't play that. Command units. Alright, our scout, keep going. I think most of the goodie huts and stuff have been found, sadly. Right, settler's going to pop out next time, so I think we are going to come over here, work this river over here for them big old boosts as well. We're probably going to plop ourselves probably there. This isn't the river where we would get boosts from, so we do need to be near this one. Yeah, I've seen people play Dead by Daylight. I've just never played it myself. Yeah, I think we'll settle right there. Then we can grow. I think that's probably the best. Don't think it matters too much. Right, let's go command units. So our scout is just going to wander a little bit down here just to see if there is any suitable town locations. So again, the only other option is a mining town over here, which wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. I just think with not having that river be what we need, that would get the boost that we require. I played Elden Ring a very long time ago. Next turn. Right, choose production. So we're going to go straight into the pyramids. And then we have all these options where to build it. We can build it on the floodplains. Must be placed on desert and adjacent to the river. So we could build it there. I don't see why not at the moment. It would only take 15 turns at the moment, which is actually quite nice. Yeah, so let's plump it there. Boom! Let's get the pyramids up. What could go wrong with building on floodplains, right? Command unit and our scout keeps scouting. We are, I believe, on... Doesn't say. I believe we're on Continents Plus. Right, and then we have our settler. So I think we basically acknowledged... Why does it want me to go there? Probably because of the river tiles. At the moment, my streaming times are normally... If I can get off this... Right, move up there. My streaming times are normally in the evening UK times. So 5 PM till... 5 PM till 9 PM? 9:30? Around that. This week, I'm playing Civilization all day. Up till Friday. And then weekend, I'm back to evenings. Right, command units. Let's move over here. Okay, so we found a hostile independent, so we will send our armies down here. Thank you very much for the follow. It does help me out a lot. I do appreciate it. So yeah, this is the hostile scout coming from that independent. So let's move our troops and whack them with the stick. 2 of our units are still healing. Like, I feel like they've been healing for a very, very long time. We do need an army general out, which we do get a free one when we complete discipline. So there could have been an argument for going for discipline a little bit earlier. Let's go next turn. And we just, hopefully, we can whack the pyramids out. We do get a 30% boost to building them. And I feel like playing as Egypt, we have to get the pyramids out, right? Just feels good. Right, command units. Right, you're fully healed, so we'll move down to this hostile. If we could get some more influence. So we could befriend them.